Hey everybody, I am David, and today I want to talk about Okja, a new Netflix series which dropped maybe a month ago, and I'm a little late to the party, but I finally got to see it this weekend. And I gotta say, man, this was a very big emotional roller coaster. I did not know what I was getting myself into when I was watching this. I had heard good things about it, but I didn't really go fully in depth into what it was about. And right from the beginning, you get the idea that this is going to be an emotional film. But I thought it was going to be a kid-friendly, fun movie with maybe a little tear-jerker at the end. But no, this movie for me had me crying literally from the first maybe half hour to the very end of the movie. This is a very hard to watch film if you are an animal lover and someone who might have a pet or just loves animals in general and does not like the idea of animals being harmed. I really enjoyed this movie for its strong storytelling and trying to get this message across out there on how animals are treated in these like farms where they're grown, and then how they're put into production to be made as food eventually for people to eat. And I think the movie does get that point across very well, because by the end of this film I was thinking, man, maybe I should turn into a vegetarian, because I do not like the way this character named Okja, which is a super pig, the way it was treated throughout this film. And you've seen documentaries and you've heard stories on how animals are treated, and this one definitely gets you to understand that in a very personal level. You get to know this super pig named Okja with this little girl who treats her as a best friend. That's right, the super pig is a her. And they have this really good bond, like any person with their dog or a cat, if you want. I think it's more like a dog in this case. And you really feel that connection between them. I think the little girl in this movie is a great, strong leading presence. She does lead the film, and her interactions with everybody throughout is very strong and emotional. And you feel her, especially when she loses her pig and feels that betrayal from, I guess, her grandfather. I think it was her grandfather in the movie. And she has to go on this journey to save her not just her pet, but her friend at the same time. It's her best friend. And I wasn't expecting the dark turns this movie was going to take, which surprised me. This is not a movie for the faint of heart. And I wouldn't even recommend this movie for kids. This is for an adult movie with adult themes, and there's a couple of F-bombs here and there throughout the film. If people don't like that kind of language, this movie is trying to treat this story with realism. And it's not like Deadpool, you're not going to hear people saying dirty jokes or throwing the F-bomb there for no apparent reason. It's organic to what's going on, so it works within the context of the story. So if you have kids that you don't want hearing those words, the movie looks like a kid-friendly film on the outside, but really when you watch it, you're realizing, oh, this movie is actually a lot more adult than I was coming in realizing it. The actors in this movie, the supporting cast, which I didn't know who was going to be in this movie, but you get actors like Tilda Swinton in the film playing sort of two roles, if you will. And you also get Jake Gyllenhaal, who can be a little bit over the top, but he is actually really good. I actually did like him. He kind of took me out of it for a brief moment in maybe one or two scenes, but for the most part, I actually thought he was a sleazy little weirdo. And Glenn from The Walking Dead is also in here, as well as Paul Dano. He's in the film. I remember him from like 12 Years a Slave and Prisoners with Hugh Jackman. He was the guy that was being beaten by Hugh Jackman. He plays one of the animal activists along with Glenn from The Walking Dead. You know what? This cast has a really good cast there. Great supporting characters on the bad side and the good side. I will say, though, I felt indifferent by the end of the film. I literally was crying maybe for like half an hour, or maybe not half an hour, but like 10-15 minutes after the movie was over. I could not stop bawling my eyes out. That's how emotionally attached to this movie I was. And I did not feel that the main girl and her super pig, Okja, I did not feel they got the justice that they deserved. And I'm someone that likes bad things happening to bad people who do bad things to good people. I don't want, in my movies anyways, and maybe in real life as well, I wanted justice to be served. And I don't want to spoil the movie, so I'm not going to say anything else other than that. But for me, I wish there was more done to the people causing problems to the super pig and her and its, the little girl. Other than that, though, I understand why they wanted to make it as realistic as possible. They want you to get you to understand that this is life. This is what happens in life. There is a good resolution to come out of it. I just wanted a little bit more justice. But I understand perfectly well why it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. So with that being said, guys, I'm giving this movie a very strong 8.5 out of 10. I thought this was a really good movie, and I think everybody should go see it. Just go in if you are someone that is very loving of animals. It's not easy to watch. Take that from someone who also loves animals, myself. It is not for the faint of heart for animal lovers. This is a really real situation that's out there in the world, and they don't hold back on this CGI creature. It might be a CGI creature, but you really do grow attachment to this creature and worry for its safety in the film. So with that being said, I will recommend it. Just go in knowing that it's not a movie that holds back. If it was rated something, it could have been maybe rated 18A, I'd say, or maybe even rated R. So with that being said, I'm ending this here. I hope you guys liked my review. I hope this helps. Tell me, if you saw Okja, what did you think of it? Did you really enjoy the movie? Were you as emotionally attached as I was? Because damn, man, I was emotionally wrecked by the end of this movie. This is definitely the movie I cried like a little baby throughout. And I'm not afraid to admit that. A real man, let me tell you something, guys. A real ladies like a man that can cry. Maybe. Until next time, take care.